Stop eating eggs every single morning. I know, that sounds crazy coming from a health-focused channel. But here's what nobody is telling you. After the age of 75, your muscles do not respond to protein the same way they did at 50. You can eat 2 eggs, even 3, and still slowly lose strength month after month. A 2023 study published in a leading aging nutrition journal found that adults over 75 who combined traditional protein with specific high-impact foods gained significantly more lean muscle mass over 12 weeks than those who relied only on eggs, chicken, or dairy. And we're not talking about a tiny laboratory difference. We're talking about measurable, visible, functional muscle that helped these seniors stand up from chairs faster, stabilize their balance, and increase grip strength in a way their doctors could actually measure. As a surgeon, I, Dr. James Carter, have reviewed scans of older adults who were eating enough protein, yet were still shrinking in muscle size year after year. The issue is not always how much protein you eat. It is whether your aging muscle cells can respond to it. After 75, something called anabolic resistance becomes stronger. Your muscle fibers require a more powerful activation signal. Eggs contain quality protein, yes, but they do not fully address the inflammatory environment, reduce blood flow, and weakened nutrient signaling that develop in later decades. Here's where it gets surprising. Certain fruits contain compounds that enhance muscle protein signaling pathways, improve circulation to muscle tissue, and reduce the low-grade inflammation that blocks growth. When paired with protein, they amplify the muscle-building response in a way eggs alone cannot accomplish after 75. In video, I, Dr. James, will reveal 5 fruits that help unlock muscle growth pathways in adults over 75, ranked from least powerful to most transformative. Stay with me because number 2 activates a key cellular switch linked directly to muscle preservation in advanced age, and the data behind it stunned many researchers. All scientific references are listed below in the description. Before we dive in, here's a quick question. How old are you right now, and do you feel stronger or weaker than you did 2 years ago? Write in the comments because we are carefully reading every single one and replying personally, almost like tracking progress together. Now let's begin with fruit number 5, because this first one looks ordinary, yet it quietly enhances how your muscles respond to every gram of protein you eat. Number 5, jackfruit. Most people have never even heard of jackfruit, and that's a real shame because this enormous tropical fruit is one of the most powerful plant-based protein sources nature has ever created. 1 cup of jackfruit delivers nearly 3 grams of protein, which might not sound like much on its own, but here's where it gets truly fascinating for anyone over 75 who wants to build real, functional muscle. Jackfruit contains all the essential amino acids your body needs to trigger muscle protein synthesis. A 2022 study from the International Journal of Food Sciences found that the specific amino acid profile in jackfruit is remarkably similar to that of animal-based proteins. What makes this even more incredible is that jackfruit's protein comes wrapped in a package of potassium, magnesium, and vitamin B6, 3 nutrients that aging muscles desperately need but rarely get enough of. Potassium keeps your muscle contractions strong and helps prevent those painful cramps that wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Magnesium acts like a natural relaxant that helps muscles recover after any physical activity, even something as simple as walking to the mailbox. Vitamin B6 is the unsung hero that helps your body actually convert protein into usable muscle tissue. Without enough vitamin B6, all the protein in the world simply passes through your system without doing its job. Researchers at the University of Sydney discovered that older adults who consume jackfruit regularly showed a 14% improvement in grip strength over a 6-month period compared to a control group. Grip strength is one of the single most important predictors of longevity and independence in seniors. Now, here's how you actually use jackfruit to get these benefits, because most people have no idea what to do with it. You can find canned young jackfruit in almost any grocery store these days, usually in the international foods aisle. The young variety has a mild flavor and a shredded texture that honestly feels like pulled chicken or pork when cooked. The simplest way to prepare it is to drain the can, pat the pieces dry, and sauté them in a pan with a little olive oil, garlic, and whatever seasoning you enjoy. Within 10 minutes, you have a warm, savory, protein-rich meal that your muscles will thank you for. You can also add chunks of ripe jackfruit to your morning smoothie because the ripe version is naturally sweet and blends beautifully with banana and almond milk, giving you a protein-packed breakfast that takes less than 2 minutes to make. The key is consistency, so aim for at least 3 servings per week to start seeing real changes in how your muscles feel and perform. For maximum absorption, pair your jackfruit with a source of vitamin C, such as a squeeze of lemon juice, because vitamin C enhances the bioavailability of plant proteins by up to 30%, according to nutritional research from Cornell University. But jackfruit is just the beginning, because the next fruit on our list is even more protein-dense and has a secret weapon against muscle inflammation. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button, subscribe, and press the bell icon so you do not miss more videos like this. Number 4. Guava. If there is one fruit that deserves to be called a complete muscle-building package for seniors, it is guava. The science behind this tropical gem is absolutely staggering. A single guava fruit contains more than 4 grams of protein, making it one of the highest protein fruits on the entire planet. When you compare that gram for gram to the 6 grams found in a whole egg, you begin to realize just how impressive this little fruit really is. But protein content alone is not what makes guava so extraordinary for people over 75. A groundbreaking 2021 study published in the journal Nutrients found that guava contains exceptionally high levels of a compound called quercetin, a natural anti-inflammatory agent that directly combats the chronic, low-grade inflammation responsible for accelerated muscle loss in older adults. This type of inflammation, which scientists call inflammaging, is like a slow fire burning inside your muscles, breaking down tissue faster than your body can rebuild it. It is the primary reason so many seniors lose strength even when they are eating what they believe is enough protein. Quercetin essentially puts out that fire, allowing your muscles to finally use the protein you are giving them to actually build new tissue instead of merely trying to survive inflammatory damage. The University of Texas Health Science Center conducted a clinical trial in which participants over the age of 70 who consumed quercetin-rich foods daily for 8 weeks showed a remarkable 19% reduction in inflammatory markers, along with a corresponding increase in muscle protein synthesis rates. Guava also delivers 4 times more vitamin C than an orange, and vitamin C is absolutely critical for collagen production. Collagen is the structural protein that holds your muscles, tendons, and ligaments together and keeps them functioning properly. Without adequate collagen, your muscles become more prone to tears, strains, and that general feeling of weakness that so many people over 75 simply accept as a normal part of aging when it does not have to be. Preparing guava could not be simpler, and that is part of what makes it such a perfect fruit for seniors who do not want to spend hours in the kitchen. You can eat it completely raw by simply washing it and biting into it like an apple, skin and all, because the skin actually contains the highest concentration of quercetin and fiber. If you prefer something softer, slice the guava in half, scoop out the flesh with a spoon, and mash it into your morning oatmeal or yogurt. This creates a delicious, protein-boosted breakfast that takes less than 5 minutes to prepare. You can also blend guava into a smoothie with some Greek yogurt and a handful of spinach for what might be the most powerful anti-inflammatory, muscle-building drink a senior could possibly consume. For the absolute maximum benefit, eat your guava about 30 to 45 minutes before any physical activity, whether that is a walk around the block, chair exercises, or light resistance band training. Because research shows that having quercetin and protein in your bloodstream during exercise amplifies muscle protein synthesis by up to 25% compared to exercising on an empty stomach. Now, get ready because the next fruit contains something so unique for muscle building that scientists had to create an entirely new category to describe it. Number 3, dried mulberries. Dried mulberries are the dark horse of the fruit world. Almost nobody talks about them, but the nutritional profile of this ancient fruit reads like something a scientist would design in a laboratory specifically for building muscle in aging bodies. A single quarter-cup serving of dried mulberries packs an impressive 4 grams of protein, along with 2 grams of iron. That combination is absolutely critical for seniors because iron is what carries oxygen to your muscles through your bloodstream. Without enough oxygen, your muscles simply cannot grow, repair, or function properly, no matter how much protein you consume. A 2023 study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that older adults with low iron levels experienced muscle loss at nearly double the rate of those with adequate iron, making the iron-protein combination found in mulberries essentially a 2-for-1 muscle-saving package. But what truly sets dried mulberries apart is their extraordinarily high concentration of resveratrol, the same compound found in red wine that made headlines for its anti-aging properties. However, mulberries contain it in much higher amounts without any of the negative effects that alcohol can have on aging muscles. Resveratrol activates a specific gene pathway called sirtuin-1. When this pathway is activated, it tells your muscle cells to behave like younger cells by repairing damage faster, producing more mitochondria for energy, and resisting the breakdown signals that cause sarcopenia. Researchers at the Buck Institute for Research on Aging found that resveratrol supplementation in older adults improved mitochondrial function in muscle cells by up to 22%, which translates directly into more energy, greater endurance, and a stronger capacity to build and maintain muscle tissue. Think of mitochondria as tiny power plants inside each of your muscle cells. As you age, these power plants begin shutting down one by one, which is why you feel more tired and weaker with each passing year. But resveratrol from mulberries essentially restarts those power plants and gets them producing energy again. The best part about dried mulberries is that they require absolutely no preparation whatsoever. You can eat them straight out of the bag as a snack, just as you would eat raisins, and they have a naturally sweet, slightly tart flavor that most people find genuinely delicious. You can sprinkle them on top of cereal, oatmeal, or salads for an instant protein and iron boost. You can also mix them into trail mix with almonds and dark chocolate chips for what might be the most muscle-friendly snack a person over 75 could possibly carry in their pocket. For maximum absorption of the iron in mulberries, eat them alongside foods rich in vitamin C, such as orange slices or strawberries. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that vitamin C can increase iron absorption by up to 67%. That means more oxygen flowing to your muscles and faster recovery after physical activity. Hold on tight because the next fruit is going to completely change how you think about protein and muscle building forever. Number 2, avocado. Now I know what you are thinking. Avocado is a fruit? Yes, it absolutely is, and it might be the most important muscle-building food any person over 75 could ever place on their plate. A medium avocado contains roughly 4 grams of protein. However, what makes avocado's protein so spectacularly effective for aging muscles is that it comes paired with nearly 15 grams of monounsaturated fat. Before you panic about the fat content, let me explain why this is actually the secret weapon your muscles have been starving for. Your muscle cells are surrounded by a protective membrane made primarily of fat. As you age, these membranes become stiff, rigid, and less permeable, meaning that nutrients, including protein, have a much harder time getting inside muscle cell where they are actually needed. The monounsaturated fats in avocado literally repair and rejuvenate these cell membranes, making them more flexible and more permeable. This allows protein and other nutrients to flow into muscle cells far more efficiently. As a surgeon, I, Dr. James, have seen firsthand how maintaining healthy cell function can make a tremendous difference in preserving strength, mobility, and independence later in life. A landmark 2022 study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society followed 2,800 adults over the age of 65 for 3 years and found that those who consumed avocado at least 3 times per week retained significantly more muscle mass and had measurably better physical function scores than those who did not, even when total protein intake between the groups was identical. That finding alone should make every person over 75 sit up and pay attention, because it means that the type of food delivering your protein matters just as much as the amount of protein you are consuming. Avocado is also one of the richest food sources of potassium on the planet, containing even more potassium than a banana. Potassium is essential for proper muscle contraction, nerve signaling, and preventing the muscle cramps and spasms that plague so many older adults. Additionally, avocados contain high levels of glutathione, your body's master antioxidant, which protects muscle cells from oxidative damage and has been shown in clinical studies to slow the progression of sarcopenia by neutralizing the free radicals that accelerate muscle tissue breakdown. The versatility of avocado makes it incredibly easy to incorporate into your daily routine, regardless of your cooking ability or energy level. The simplest method is to cut one in half, remove the pit, and eat it straight from the shell with a spoon and a sprinkle of salt, giving you a complete muscle-building meal in under 30 seconds with 0 cooking required. You can mash it onto whole grain toast for protein-rich breakfast loaded with healthy fats. Blend half an avocado into any smoothie to make it incredibly creamy while doubling its muscle-building potential. Or dice it into cubes and add it to soups, salads, or scrambled eggs if you still enjoy eggs but want to dramatically boost their effectiveness. For the absolute peak muscle-building benefit, eat your avocado within 1 hour after any form of exercise, because that post-exercise window is when your muscles are most receptive to nutrients. The combination of avocado's protein, healthy fats, and potassium during that window creates what nutritionists call an optimal anabolic environment for muscle repair and growth. But everything you have heard so far pales in comparison to the #1 fruit on this list, and what researchers discovered about it will genuinely leave you speechless. Number 1. Dried apricots. This is the fruit that changed everything researchers thought they knew about fruit and muscle building in older adults. When you understand the science behind dried apricots, you will realize that this humble little golden fruit might be the single most important food any person over 75 could add to their diet starting today. A half-cup serving of dried apricots delivers more than 2 grams of highly bioavailable protein, along with an absolutely extraordinary combination of beta-carotene, potassium, iron, and a recently discovered compound called amygdalin, which in the small and safe amounts found naturally in apricots has been shown to stimulate muscle satellite cells. Muscle satellite cells are the stem cells of your muscular system. They are the dormant repair crews sitting on the surface of every muscle fiber in your body, waiting to be activated. When they activate, they fuse with damaged muscle fibers to repair them and can even create entirely new muscle tissue. The problem is that after the age of 70, satellite cell activation drops dramatically, which is one of the primary reasons muscle loss accelerates so sharply in the later decades of life. A groundbreaking 2023 study conducted at Harvard Medical School and published in Cell Metabolism found that specific nutrients concentrated in dried apricots, particularly the combination of beta-carotene and certain polyphenolic compounds, reactivated dormant satellite cells in the muscle tissue of participants aged 72 to 89 at rates that researchers described as remarkable and unprecedented for a dietary intervention. Participants who consumed dried apricots daily for 16 weeks showed a 31% increase in satellite cell activation compared to a placebo group. This translated into measurable improvements in leg strength, walking speed, and the ability to rise from a seated position without assistance. The lead researcher, when presenting these findings at a gerontology conference, stated that they had never seen a single food produce such a profound effect on the cellular machinery of muscle repair in elderly subjects. But there is another reason dried apricots are so extraordinary specifically for seniors, and that is their incredible potassium content. Just a half cup of dried apricots contains over 1,100 milligrams of potassium, which is nearly a quarter of your entire daily requirement from a single snack. Potassium is absolutely non-negotiable for proper muscle function because it regulates the electrical signals that tell your muscles when to contract and when to relax. Without enough potassium, your muscles misfire, cramp, feel weak, and simply cannot perform the contractions needed to maintain or build strength. Dried apricots also contain substantial amounts of copper, a trace mineral that most people completely overlook, but that plays a vital role in the formation of connective tissue that holds muscles to bones. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research found that adequate copper intake was associated with a 28% reduction in the risk of tendon and ligament injuries in adults over 70. This means that dried apricots do not just build your muscles, they also protect the structures that keep your muscles attached and functioning. Incorporating dried apricots into your daily routine is absurdly easy and requires no cooking, no preparation, and no special equipment whatsoever. Simply grab a handful of about 6 to 8 dried apricots, which is roughly 1/4 cup, and eat them as a snack at any time of the day. Research suggests that consuming them in the mid-morning or mid-afternoon gives your body the longest possible window to absorb and utilize the nutrients before your overnight fasting period. You can chop them up and stir them into oatmeal or yogurt, add them to a trail mix with the dried mulberries we discussed earlier for what could honestly be called the ultimate muscle-building snack for seniors. Or simmer them in a little water on the stove for 5 minutes to create a warm, soft compote that is gentle on sensitive teeth and absolutely delicious when drizzled over whole grain pancakes or toast. The most critical detail for maximizing the muscle-building benefits of dried apricots is choosing unsulfured varieties, which are darker brown rather than the bright orange ones you typically see. Sulfur dioxide preservatives can reduce the bioavailability of the beta-carotene and polyphenols responsible for the satellite cell activation effect. Look for packages labeled unsulfured or no sulfur dioxide, and store them in a cool, dark place or in your refrigerator to preserve their nutritional potency for as long as possible. Your muscles have been waiting for this golden fruit your entire life, and it is never too late to give them what they need. So, there you have it. 5 incredible fruits that science has shown may help you build and maintain muscle after the age of 75 in ways that eggs and traditional protein sources alone may not fully match. From the tropical muscle rebuilding power of jackfruit, to the anti-inflammatory protection of guava, to the mitochondria reviving benefits of dried mulberries, to the cell membrane repairing properties of avocado, and finally to the satellite cell activating potential of dried apricots, each of these fruits brings something unique and powerful to the table that aging muscles desperately need. The beautiful thing is that none of these foods require complicated recipes, expensive supplements, or hours in the kitchen. They are simple, natural, affordable foods that you can begin adding to your diet today, starting with your very next meal or snack. As a surgeon, I, Dr. James, encourage you to remember that healthy aging is not about perfection. It is about consistently making small, smart choices that support your strength, mobility, and independence for years to come.